Okay, so in the last tutorial, I had mentioned that we would adjust this really quickly, so I'm going to bring this back down. I'm going to bring it down to 12. We'll make it 10, because I found that the strafe was a little bit too fast. Okay. So now we have a working strafe, a working run, and what do we need to do now? Well, let's add in a jump. So how do we do that? Well, first we need to actually put in some gravity. So let's put in some gravity right now. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to come to the bottom here, and we're going to say that vecset temp my.x. So temp will hold my.x, or my current position. So the player's current position is being stored into temp, and we're going to say temp.z is now going to be my position subtracting 1,000,000 minus 1. And now we're going to say that the distance to ground is equal to c trace, and we're tracing from my.x to temp.x, so to where we've traced, which is all the way down below. So we're going to trace and check from the player's position all the way down below it, and we're going to ignore me, use box, and ignore passable. Okay, so now we need to set that up inside a script like this. We're going to go my.skill3 is equal to negative distance to ground minus 0.5. And 0.5 isn't exact, it's just an experimental value. You can play around with that. I find 5 works decent for this particular player. So my.skill3 is also equal to, or is then equal to max v negative 15 times time step my.skill3. So basically we're saying that my.skill3 was empty, alright, or it's being updated depending on where we are in the cycle. So it's being updated to be distance to ground, so this check minus 0.5 or whatever value you put in there. And then it's saying that my.skill3 is now equal to a max velocity of a negative 15 times time step of this value. So that will then move our player down. So if we were to run vecset, and we can set vector temp right there, and we want to make sure that this is included. And the reason for that, distance to ground, another variable yet that I haven't set. Just leave it empty. Okay, so now you'll notice that when we started, we fell to the ground, and we're now on the ground. Okay, so that means that if we hit the tab button, it'll pull up this little menu down here, and in there we can say that player.z equals 100. Oh, of course, and we also have to say that player equals me. Yes, I realize I accidentally just deleted that. I'll undo that in a second. So now we can say player.z equals 150, and it's still not working. Okay, well, I noticed that that debug menu is a little bit touchy, you know, with what it wants to do and when it wants to do it. So what we can actually do instead is just say that my.z equals 500, and when we start off, we'll be falling. Okay, so now we have gravity. So here's our gravity code right here. And that's for gravity. Now we have gravity, and in the next tutorial I'm going to cover jumping.